hard working, dedicated. Would like to dedicate this to those who never hate it. Can't nothing hold us down. Can always go another round. Welcome to the underground. Real sports with real sports guys. It's a flex that had his mindset, ready for whatever grind next. My mindset, working with the time left, hard working, dedicated. Would like to dedicate this to those who never hate it. Can't nothing hold us down. Can always go another round. Welcome to the underground. Real sports with real sports guys.
All right, welcome to the underground, where culture meets the game. RSG OneMic, we're in the building with our group. I feel like we back together. The band, we getting some rhythm. We like the Four Tops, trying to get harmonizing. So we getting it together. Let's bring the rest of the members in the group. We got no Tito's up in here. Everybody can be a lead singer. So we're gonna start with Coach because you always got to start with wisdom. You know, we got to honor. How you doing?
I'm a little road weary, but everything's all good. I was just took a little road trip, visit some grandkids, talked to my daughter. She's getting ready to start her first season as head coach at Bendorf High School. Had to give her a little shout out for that. Very proud of her. Had a little strategy session today as she starts beginning her season. So tired, but that was a good trip. It was really worth it.
You gotta love. I know that was something that she's looking forward to having you come over and doing that. I do like a Hall of Famer too, right? As well. She's working on it. I think didn't she?
She was an Illinois high school Hall of Famer. She held a couple records, and she's also a Hall of Famer from Northern Illinois. So, yeah, she's got some weight behind her, but like I said, she's excited about it. Get back into coaching, and so plus I get to spend a little time with the grandkids today. So there's a double joy today.
Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. We got Hamp over there. A little worried. You worried about them Cubs and them Brewers? I know you over there. Don't get lost up in here.
Yeah, I am, man. I don't like who we pitching tonight. We pitching a guy who has not pitched well, and I understand they've got a guy on the postseason roster who his only calling card is pitching well against the Brewers, and they're not pitching them. So I don't understand Mr. Council, but yeah. I mean, bottom line, if the Cubs do pull a miracle and win tonight, I've got tickets to Game 5, so that should be exciting. But I'll be with some Brewer fans, so I'll have to, be respectful in people's houses. You don't go into houses, eat their food, and clown. So you go in the house and you act right. So my mama and dad raised me right. So I'm gonna go into AmFam Field and keep my cheering to myself and clapping the Brewers. And again, the Brewers win. God bless them, because they ain't got no title. We got a title. 16, I'll never forget. 16 was a year, never forget, man, where that was something I never thought I would see, man. Yeah, I feel bad. My dad never saw it, and I know he probably thought he'd never see it. To see the Cubs win the World Series was surreal, man. I still think I could be in a dream with that. It was surreal. So, but the bottom line is that, it's going to be a tough night tonight, but yeah, we'll see. We got through first inning. We walked Yelich, but then he pitched well. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, again, we're at the crib. It'd be nice to have a Game 5, but this season's not been, 18, 19 blown saves. The season's not been what it should have been. So
y'all better off than them Yankees tonight, because Vlad Jr. was clowning them.
Yankees
lose. They were clowning them. The Blue Jays fans was.
Mr. Boone better be thankful that Mr. Steinbrenner, the real George Steinbrenner, is not. Yeah, the real George Steinbrenner is not. Not alive, because he would have been long fired. So George wouldn't have played with that mess at all. So yeah.
That's straight up mess over there in the Bronx.
When the color announcers, when Buck Martinez talking junk, you got problems. When the color announcers from the other team talking junk, calling you trash, talking about we gonna beat you, and you going back and forth with the color announcers, you got a problem. Yeah. But the color announcer was right, He said y'all raggedy, y'all got to run out in 4 games. So yeah. roll on. So yeah.
Ooh, it's all good. And then we got the youngin, Darnell Kirkland Jr., trying to be a budding offensive line coach. Coming on the show tonight, look like these young boys got them worried. Like, what's going on? I ain't seen you, but Shevel, what's going on, man? Come on, share something. We can have a little time
No,
with you.
I'm
You
just
got you
trying.
got
I'm just
you got
trying
a
to
vet
make
over
the.
there, coach over there. He can give you some guidance. What's going on?
No, I'm just trying to make the playoffs. Yeah, we in it. It's week 7.
Okay,
I'm barely sleeping, but we doing what I can. Got 15 about over 15 hours of film watched this week. Trying to do my part.
that's what my note I described. Cecil brings that wisdom. Hammer gonna try and bring you that reality. You are our technician. 15 hours of film. Like when Darnell brings some analysis, he gonna break it down. You're gonna feel like he done pulled the chalkboard out. You're gonna feel that feeling tonight, and so he's in that spirit. Well, we with you, man. I know what your goal is as a coach. So you doing it every day, man. Trying to put these guys together. We proud of you. So you got to call Cecil over there. Like you got a cat over there. He can always he'll guide you through it. You ain't tapping into that wisdom over there. You need to tap into it.
Try to help.
He'll help you out, man. So you got to tap. That's why we doing this. Hey, we got a full show today. We got NFL trade drama coming on. We got some college football happening. Uh, man, the halftime show of the Super Bowl. We got to talk about it. It's like it's taking the forefront of that. We got a whole bunch of stuff we'll get into, and so we'll jump out of this and get into the show and talk about what's trending right now. A trade. Your boy Flacco to Cincy. They did it within the division. Sent Flacco to Cincy. And then, Cleveland got Gabriel at the start. Up until I caught up to the show, I didn't. They were. Stefanski was acting like he wasn't going to figure out who's going to be the backup, and trying to figure out what that's going to be. But we know Gabriel's
Bailey
going to be
Zappi's
starting.
going to be a backup.
Huh?
Bailey
I was like,
Zappi.
he know who's gonna be the backup.
Bailey Zappi's going to be a
If
backup.
not gonna be
Bailey Zappi.
Shador.
He's not going to be.
It's
Well,
Bailey
he
Zappi.
act like he was saying at the press conference. I missed it unless he announced it later today. He was acting like which I don't understand.
He need to announce it. Yeah, I mean, the fact, yeah.
Did he announce it? Okay. But let's go.
No, I said he did. He didn't need to announce it. He didn't
Oh, he
need to
did.
announce it because
Oh,
the fact he didn't name Shador QB2 tells you he ain't QB2.
but tell me that's
Plain and
that's a
simple.
problem. Like you're creating drama where there needs to be no drama. Like so, I mean, we'd understand why you'd have the veteran as a backup. That would make sense. Had nothing to do with Shador or whatever. You would just have the veteran as a backup. I can understand that, but they create too much drama where they don't need to have drama. But that's part of the issue. Carl, what does this mean? I mean, what is Cincinnati getting out? I mean, they're getting Flacco. I mean, it's a dumpster fire over there. The quarterback situations. I felt so bad. What they say at one point, my guy my guy over there, the receiver had more tackles, had the most tackles on the team. When your receiver has the most tackles on the team,
Yeah.
it more than reception. That's a problem. It was a dumpster fire over in Cincy. So, what does this mean for having Flacco over there? What would Flacco bring to Cincy that he couldn't do with?
It tells again. It confirms what I told y'all. What I told y'all before the season. Zach Taylor is done, and he's gone. He is in serious trouble. And so, the fact that he's starting Flacco with barely any practice. I mean, that tells you he's desperate. Browning's been awful, but that tells you again, and the fact they traded within the division, and the fact that the Browns traded, they traded with you, that tells you again how a bad situation is. But yeah, Mr. Taylor has been exposed. They've invested all in the offense, nothing in defense. They pay Hendrickson a little bit, but they're gonna probably trade him. And so yeah, they got Al Golden as defensive coordinator, whatever. So the bottom line is that Mr. Taylor is his time in Cincinnati's coming to an end, and he'll find another job. But it's just time is coming to an end, man. As far as the bad offensive line, they got Joe Burrow hurt, no investment in the defense, and just like I said, you can change the coordinator so much before they eventually change the head coach. That's what they're gonna do. So it's indicative of that. I ain't gonna lie, I was stunned they picked Flacco of all. I would have gotten like Kirk Cousins or Russell but Joe Flacco. So I mean that's where it's stunning. But it tells you again, it's a sad organization. It's always been a bad organization. they've had some good times occasionally, but the bottom line is that Mr. Taylor is in serious troubles. Yes, as I told y'all before the season.
Now, Cecil, you and I had we were on the golf course the other day, and you know, after the Gabriel start, you had some stuff that got to you about the situation. But then they do the Flacco trade. But your observations of Cleveland and the fans and situations like that. I mean, you want to share what's been your growing perspective as you've been watching that.
It's a circus. I mean, they've turned a football season into a circus, and people jumping on and off the bandwagon. What got me going the other day was listening to the announcers on one of the ESPN shows that pretty much had anointed what's the quarterback at Cleveland?
Gabriel.
Gabriel. Yeah, had pretty much anointed him as the next coming to Tom Brady. I mean, they were just throwing accolades out, how great he was, how smart he was, how shrewd he was, how they can understand how the coaches had so much confidence in him. And they were going on and on about how wonderful he was. And I mean, it was to the point of being nauseating. I'm all okay with talking about how good a guy played and everything else in his debut and stuff. But it was obvious they were doing it intentionally. It was obvious that they were trying to make a big issue over this, and I can only surmise to justify him playing over Shador. And again, I think everything always seems to go back to Shador and what Cleveland's doing with him. But then when I saw the Flacco trade, I was like, what are they doing? And it's just a circus. They don't know what they're doing. At some point, the league's going to step in and go, y'all making too many. We don't understand what you're doing. We're going to take over here for you. And what's that do for the locker rooms? What's that going to do for the Bengals locker room? What's that going to do for Cleveland's locker room? I mean, like I said, have you given up on the season? Because how do you pull a group of people back together and say we're playing for this reason or that reason or cause? So that's the difficulty now. It'll be interesting to see if both of them aren't just dumpster fires over the next couple of games.
Darnell, like if you were sitting there like looking on the Cleveland side and you're like, this is where you're at. What are you hoping to see by the end of the season? Like what would you hope that now that dust is settled, pretty clear, what are you hoping to get out by the end of this season if you're Cleveland? What do you want to know?
Well,
aside from the circuit, let's say that you came in, you had to stabilize it. What are you trying to see?
It's hard to divorce them from the circus though. So if I'm them, I'm trying to find taking account of every practice and trying to figure out who is going to be my quarterback going forward between Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders, and I'm going to trade the other one, right? And get some draft capital out of the other quarterback. But it seems from everything we've heard, everything we've seen, it seems like the decision has already been made.
Yep.
So
couldn't say it better myself, brother.
I don't know what they're waiting on.
Haslam made. I mean, this is the problem when you have the owners dictating. Haslam dictated this draft pick, and you saw the look on Andrew Berry's and Stefanski's face when they had to take him, and they're going to do everything to undermine this young man. So he needs a trade. He needs out.
But the thing about it is, they're not going to get an opportunity to raise his draft stock by him playing and improving. Not his draft stock, but his trade value. They're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to raise his trade value by playing him if he's sitting on the bench. Especially if he's the third string quarterback.
Yeah.
Like right now, he's an emergency quarterback. If everything happens, there's a natural disaster. There's food poisoning, and all the quarterbacks, all the quarterbacks are sick. Then Shador Sanders might get in the game. Maybe. Then they'll probably then they might put the punter in to play quarterback. But
I have to agree with you.
We don't know what's going on. If I'm the Cleveland Browns, that's what I do. I try to find my quarterback.
And I'm gonna tell you this: you hear the coach
their
saying stuff.
their
You hear a lot of
quarterback
people
is
saying.
in college.
You hear the coach saying stuff. You hear a lot of stuff. People saying stuff. But the one thing I have not heard anybody say anything negative about, I must have missed it, is nobody on the defense has said anything negative about Shador. And if you ever been in a locker room, the best friend of the defense is a really good quarterback over there. And the guys, my sense when you ever hear the defense is the guys have responded to about him being positive, which is always an indicator to me. And so I think that's causing a lot of problems inside. And they drafted him. People say that was Barry's pick, not Haslam's pick. But they drafted him with no clear plan, right? He was just there, and they felt like they had to do it. And you've seen it unfold right here. I don't even know. It doesn't feel like they even have a plan for Gabriel. Like it doesn't seem like any of that's working. And so I think you're right, Darnell. Like if you're going to trade him, you gotta get him out there to give some sense of height to get traded. The problem is if he plays well and the fans like him, it's going to be hard to trade him. Like you are creating something that's difficult for you to because of the way you set this whole thing up. And so if he even looks like he can play, and then you trade him at an organization that's probably had like 30 quarterbacks
You got
in
to
the
keep
past,
him.
like that's the part they scared of.
Yeah, they got
Like,
they got 8 quarterbacks. They pay 8 quarterbacks this year. You know, don't you? They pay
Yeah.
8 quarterbacks this year. You know that, right? $41.6 million to 8 quarterbacks.
I mean,
that
right.
I mean, told you them jacked up.
Like Coach said, they are a laughing stock. They're a bunch of buffoons up in Cleveland.
You got to keep swinging.
I mean, they're swinging and then they're swinging.
They pay 8 cats and they got 1 quarterback. 8 cats, they got
Oh, yeah.
one. They got one.
Oh my! You put it in perspective. I'm like, yeah, they do have 8 quarterbacks. Oh, I mean, yeah, because we were forgetting. They had my former Steeler quarterback. I forgot he was there. Right? Was he there for a minute?
Yeah.
I didn't forgot he
He's
was
got
there.
a dead cap. Yeah, he was there. They traded him. They traded for him. They traded him and got the pick back. Yeah.
I mean, they up there playing.
Practice guy. Yeah.
Woo.
That's a circus.
And then we haven't even talked about they traded your boy from Northwestern.
That team is incompetent, bro. They need to take over that franchise.
We haven't talked about they traded your boy from Northwestern to Newsom.
Yeah, they traded Newsom.
Corner for Tyson Campbell.
Yeah.
So they making moves all over.
They're making moves all over.
Making moves, yeah.
No playing. But we gonna sit back and figure out. I mean.
One of my good friends, shout one of my good friends, Matt Krasinski's a huge Brown fan, and dude is very successful. I asked him flat, like, you going to London last week? He's like, no, come on, man. I'm like, come on, man.
I was spending my hard-earned money. He said I had the private plane gassed up, but I'm not getting on that plane. I'm not doing that unless we going to Cancun. All right, Hammer. Stanford got the bag, $50 million, man. I told you I'm going. You've been crying about what's happening with your alma mater and their football program. They used to be that they used to have that intellectual brutality on that shirt. They had all that stuff. They used to go and put their feet up on people's couch back in the day. And then they just been sour the past 3 or 4 years. What is this going to mean to the program? I saw Stanford Steve looking happy, but what's this?
It shows the influence of it shows the influence of Luck. It shows the influence again of John Donahue, the new AD, who's was head of Nike, and then the donor is a big time donor in politics, as well as it's a great move, and it'll get Stanford relevant again. I wish they put some of that money to give the Pac-12 back, but that ain't happening. But no, it's needed. I mean, it's been an embarrassment to watch Stanford the past couple of years without D. Shaw and Frank Reich. You gotta be kidding me. They brought him back to shepherd the way, and then the Troy Taylor mess. And it's just the bottom line is that I like the way that Luck is going and Luck is doing it, and so this is a great sign for Stanford, and hopefully we can get together, because right now we're not that good, but this gives us hope, total hope that they can revamp the program. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you young folks out there, I mean, You get the money, but the thing about it, if you go to Stanford to get tapped into that alumni piece, that money multiplies. Like, understand that, young folks. Understand where you're going. And all these institutions, they might be equal to that check, but they're not equaling that multiple benefit. And if you get to Stanford, you have a good experience, that thing multiplies over there. So I like to see. I was
I
happy.
have a lot of alums helping me right now.
Yeah.
Helping me right now in the state. Yeah, the Stanford
Yes.
alumni help me in the state right now. One of my biggest benefactors helped me big time in the state, man.
That's it. That network's tight. So we go. We got a showdown in the Big Ten. This is why I got to come back to Darnell because see, we'll get your juices going. You know, we got Oregon, we got Indiana. It feel like we got B Rabbit against Papa Doc. We got something going on here. We got offensive defense. We got an upstart Indiana program. Are they for real? And then we got them Ducks. They like to put their feet on your couch wherever they go. What's your thoughts about this big showdown here where, 10 years ago, we didn't even thought about this being a showdown. But what's your thoughts about this one?
I think Oregon go. I think Oregon go win by 40.
Uh-oh.
It's one of those games because
Uh-oh.
your boy Indiana. He loved to talk. He loved to talk a good game. Kurt Signetti. He confident. He puffed his chest out. And Oregon, they're not gonna take their foot off the gas. When they got you beat, they gonna rub it in a little bit. And I'll never forget because I was watching and they do like a little docu-series on YouTube, and I was watching their docu-series last year from Oregon, and they were showing the game they played at Michigan, and they said he called and they were up. It was the fourth quarter, like a minute and a half left in the game, and Dan Lanning called timeout, and he said, "I called timeout just so you guys could see all the fans leaving the big house." I was like,
wow,
that's the type of spirit. That's the type of spirit that Dan Lanning coaches with, the type of play through the whistle mentality they have at Oregon. So I believe Oregon. I think Oregon has the better team, and I think when Oregon gets the lead, they're not going to let up.
Coach Cecil, you have upstart programs in Indiana. They've been building something here, that appears to be pretty solid. For you, when you see programs like this, what tells you whether or not it's a real shift versus something that feels like it's temporary? Like what is it about when you think about a program like Indiana? It's been more known about basketball, but they seem to be putting it together in football. What are those things that you look and say, okay, this is built on some solid ground? What kind of things do you look for with that in terms of a upstart or a program that's really shifting and moving towards being a program you got to pay attention to?
Well, for one, and I only caught Indiana a little bit here and there, but watching them the last couple of years, is their talent pool better. They just got better players than they used to have. They also have, they've come back in some games. They fought back in some games, and so they have fight in them that doesn't let them quit, that doesn't let them give up, and that's a true indicator that they're on the right path with better talent and a different mentality. And their coach he's got a little nastiness to him. You're right about that, Darnell. He can get a little cocky about it, but I think that's more trying to build his team to have a little bit of that swag too. And I think it's working. I don't know if it's going to do much good against Oregon because Oregon's had it for a longer bout of time, has their own goals and that they want to accomplish, and that's how they play. They play very matter-of-fact football. I don't know if they're going to run them, but I think Indiana is legit. I think the coach is legit. I think what he's building there is legit, and I think he's going to continue to get better. But he might hit a roadblock against Oregon.
I mean, he's got a good quarterback. What Mendoza's been, has been doing his thing, and so part of it is right. Would you say?
Yeah, no.
I would say he's been doing his
thing.
thing.
No, he's doing his thing.
Yeah. Talk about go on, Hammer. I mean, I think that his
upgrade. Bottom line is that I agree with both. I think Oregon's going to win, but I'll put it this way: on the flip side, if Indiana does win, a lot of people will be shaking their boots because this turnaround has been amazing. And so, like I told people in Wisconsin, Don't tell me about Wisconsin. While you look at Indiana, Indiana's balling. So,
yeah.
So a lot of people secretly hoping they do lose this week because they know the seats are going to be smoking. Of chairs are going to be hot. Going to be smoking of some people, of coaches in trouble because they're going to look at Indiana and be like, "What's the excuse?" They win in basketball.
Yeah, Hammer, you hit it right there. I was going to ask you about what it meant for the Big Ten. Yes, it's going to put some pressure on some seats because he turned this thing around fast.
Big pressure. Yeah, already put pressure.
Yep.
Already put pressure. Already put pressure. I mean, he brought in those Jay Madison cats. He brought in his good transfers. Bumped the NIL. He's gonna make it where a lot of coaches are gonna be like gonna be shaking in their boots because they better deliver because there'll be no excuses. And you see all the coaches getting fired from Virginia Tech to Virginia Tech to Oregon, Oklahoma State, and other people getting fired because people don't hear that mess. They want production now, and they ain't talking about no rebuilding. You better rebuild in over an off season. Forget a season to keep your job. Yeah. So.
Well, Darnell, we got the Red River Rivalry. We got Manning, who is trying to get his stuff going. We got the Sooners coming back. You know, they got the starting quarterback. I think he's going to come back and play. This is a make or break. This is a make or break for Texas and Oklahoma. Yeah, how you see this thing going? It's a rivalry game. There's something about a rivalry game. Sometimes you got to throw the records out the room. What's your feeling around this?
It's going to be a tough game. Two pretty good defenses.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think when it comes down to it, if John Mateer plays, I think he's going to make the play to win the game. So I got I got Oklahoma coming down the stretch to win that one. But it's going to be a tough, hard-fought game. It can go either way for sure.
Now, Hammer, you've been saying you know the Mannings are trying to figure out where they're claiming this. That's unfair. Get that young man some time.
No, they should have a DNA test for him after. Have a DNA test for him.
They don't need no DNA test. The only thing you need to know is the only brother that didn't play quarterback. That's his son.
Yeah, he got hurt.
That's the DNA test. No, he played wide receiver. His dad was a wide receiver.
I think he was a wide receiver. Yeah. No, I mean, I think Oklahoma's gonna win. I don't trust Arch. Arch is a choker. He's not that good of a player. So Darnell said defenses. It's gonna be a nice rock'em sock'em defensive game. But the bottom line, we have defensive games. People got to make plays, and if Arch man has to make a play to help you win, God help you. You need prayer. That's the case because he's not that good. He's an overrated player in America. And Mateer coming back he's a really top-notch player. So, I favor Oklahoma in the game. Yeah, definitely.
All right, we're gonna get it moving. Get under the radar a little bit. Some emerging stories. Coach, I mean, I've been watching this preseason. Wemby is trying to come back with some funk in his game. He's having, preseason is preseason, but he feels like he's come back with a little bit more energy around this. Obviously coming off an injury. When you think about this year, what would you like to see him do? Where do you want to see him progress? In terms of his development. In this next year, coming off, an injury and coming back in. Where would you want to see him progress this year?
That's a great question because last year, before he got hurt, and when he was in the start of his career, I kept trying to figure out who is he and what is he in the NBA. Because he's obviously skilled in a lot of places. I think the biggest thing is what he's showing now is a little bit more aggressiveness, a little bit more, and maybe even a little bit more energy on both ends of the court. Where he's just kind of taking the game to people a little bit more, not just on breakaways when he gets a steal or something like that, but where he's just focused and locked in on both ends of the court just from a playing standpoint, because I think he can help the team that way, both defensively and offensively, because he's obviously a mega talent, but like to see him just get situated and grounded in his game so you can say what he does best and how he does things best and, to become a great defender and still be able to score at the other end of the floor in the half court as much as the open court. So that's the things that I see about him. But, that's a great question because I've been wondering about where does he actually fit in for last couple of years. And that's kind of what I got a sense of now.
And Carl, you got a young guy in Chicago that everybody is hoping is going to grow up. This special, he's like he's having a really
Man,
good
Mads Bucelis,
preseason.
baby, all day.
Yeah, and he had a
He can
he
ball.
had a strong performance after they traded Levine after the trade deadline. He's coming in. I'm hearing a lot of chatter
He did,
about
yeah.
what they think he can do this year.
No, Madison's going to be a really good player. I mean, we really lucked out because he's a local guy. You know, Darnell kind of told me about it last year. We had four local cats on the team, but Mattis should have been. I mean, was projected number one pick at one time in that draft. So, yeah, I mean, he's got great skill game. He really, I like the way Billy Donovan. I'm not a big fan of Billy, but I give him credit with this cat. He's done well. He brought him in, worked him in. You're right. When they traded Zach, he took the next step, and I think they get rid of Vooch. I think he'll be, he'll even do better when Vooch is gone and be, a number one option and really just. I mean, he's just very skilled at 6'10", 6'9", 6'10", great handle. Defense was better. Just I really see nothing but promise for this guy, and really he's just a great worker. You see him; he's around the gym all the time, and as well as seems like a great culture fit, and really loves being in Chicago, loves being a Bull, and so it's one of the few things Arturis has done. Kashuris has done the GM that one of the few competent things he's done as GM of the Bulls, and so yeah, I mean he didn't mess that up. That's his homeboy. And yeah, he didn't mess that up, thank goodness. But I mean, I think Matt's gonna be a really good player and one of the new faces in the NBA, definitely. Yes.
Darnell, with Halliburton getting hurt, Matherin, it seems to have an opportunity to grow into his role. If you were, I was just thinking this through, and we hadn't talked a little bit about this, but like, what would you like to see him do? I think he, in that game 7, he showed something, a little bit, but he walks with like he can be that person. I think he has an opportunity because with extended minutes and with some of the trades to do like, do you see a possibly for under the radar some growth with him?
Kind of, but yeah, you would want to see him get more like on ball reps.
Yeah.
But the way the team is built, like either like what you're saying for him is also true for a few guys, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be more opportunity for TJ
Nimhard.
McConnell,
Yep.
Nimhard. You're always going to have Neesmith in there as well, and they're all in that same sort of McConnell's a point guard, but
Yeah.
Neesmith, Neesmith and Nimhard are both two guard kind of smaller wings, and Matherin kind of plays into that same role. So I think you're going to get a lot of overlap there. So I think they're going to eat into some of his minutes, even though, like you say, he brings something that they necessarily don't with that scoring upside. So I think they are going to need some of that. So there are going to be opportunities for him to expand on his role and to show you something else. But at the same time, I still see them being a core part of their identity as a team.
And then I know we talk about our Pistons. They got a little bit going this past year. We want to see a little bit more growth. We have Ivy coming back into this space. Um, you know, I'm like, okay, can they push into that, 4 or 5 spot? Can they start pushing up the ladder a little bit? Is where I'm open. That's a team that, has a gear that they got to go to in this next year that I'm beginning to see. We haven't done our full NBA preview show yet, but there's some stuff that I think is percolating over there in the 3-1-3. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the swing factor for the Detroit Pistons is the shooting development of Ron Holland and Asar Thompson.
Yeah.
Because if you can have these guys play together, that's going to unlock the whole different aspect of their team with their energy and their defensive intensity that they bring. But as currently constituted, I think they're definitely set for a jump forward. I know we didn't do a whole lot in free agency,
Yeah.
but the biggest free agent of all for us, our biggest free agent target was Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
Jaden Ivey's back and he's healthy.
Yeah.
Him coming back to that starting lineup now it slots things back a little bit because he can shoot. He's a really good athlete. He's shooting high 30s, I believe, in the from the 3-point line. He adds a different aspect to the team. I still think as far as I still think they need a big forward defender, somebody that can guard the Giannis's of the world. Um, I think that's also going to be a limiting factor for them finding a four that can defend as well as stretch the floor because like we said, Asar Thompson is not necessarily a great shooter. Holland's not necessarily a great shooter. I think that's something to watch for as well.
All right, we just a little tease, y'all, for what we when we start getting into that NBA preseason, y'all getting a little tease of what we start dropping a little bit. We haven't got we didn't get full hammer on that one, but we gonna get there on some of that NBA talk in a minute. You will hear debacle. You will hear a whole bunch of stuff when we start getting to some of these teams once we do our hardcore review. But we want to spend some
The
time
Bulls
on
are
this.
debacle. Bulls are debacle.
A little bit of debacle going on. We want to spend some time. Like, it's funny. I was just talking to somebody and about the Super Bowl, and they're like, "I'm just going to watch the halftime show." And they wanted to watch the game. They're like, "I just want to watch the halftime show." And I remember when the Super Bowl, the halftime show just used to be a break for you to go get your chips. You listen to it in the background, and then you come back and you kind of do it. But over the past 10 years, 15 years, it's become part of this kind of culture of it, and even the announcement is something big. And so obviously with Bad Bunny being announced to be the performer, um, global icon. You're always gonna get somebody that's big, and he's also when it was announced he was doing Saturday Night Live. Um, a lot of his show is going to be, or most of it's going to be in Spanish, which we're living in a multicultural society, even though people don't want to talk about it. And all of a sudden, this stuff ends up on the president's devices. And I'm just like, with all the stuff going on, we got time in the White House to talk about the halftime show. But that just tells you where we are as a country and how this has become, from Kendrick Lamar's performance last year and everything else. But it's got
Yeah.
eyes. And so Hammer, is the halftime show the game? Like what is it? Has the halftime show taken over the game? Is it like a separate thing? What's happening with all this? And you understand the politics. You always around the politics, but how is this thing evolving, and what is it about the halftime show at the Super Bowl for you?
It's an inflection point for the country, and
Yeah.
the bottom line, it was announced today. Turning Point USA is going to do an alternative halftime show. So yeah, it's going to be where now you've seen where you're going to have two parts of the Super Bowl. You have the halftime show, the cultural phenomenon that Kendrick Lamar and other people have had, and you're going to have a Turning Point as a counterpoint, and then you have the game where people
What
are
they
going to be
gonna
more
have?
concerned about the
Conway
game.
Twitty's
So
cousin? Who we gonna have over there? What they doing? Okay.
I know they don't have, man. I don't know they don't have it. They hadn't announced. I know that they announced they're having counter programming. So who knows?
Oh
I mean,
my goodness.
these are crazy. But the bottom line is that it's going to be a phenomenal game as usual, and they'll have their side shows and circuses. But Bad Bunny, I know some of his music will be a great performer, and he said cultural icon. But yeah, but they'll have the mess on the other side. Yeah, the country is very divided right now, and we'll come together for the 3 hours of the Super Bowl, but the 20 minutes, whatever show, will be a divided country. Sadly, and that's the reality of where we are right now in the world. Forget about America, the world in general. How divided we are.
It is now. Cecil, you on here the longest. We remember when Marvin Gaye,
Thanks.
and did the anthem, right? You know what I'm saying? Like these were moments that, like, Whitney Houston. Like these are like moments that were like that got everybody's chill. Like everybody was like, "Oh, that's a performance." Um, Music has always kind of been that part. It just for you, like when you think about these experiences. I mean, I know you're a sports fan. From Marvin Gaye to this. What's your kind of your view of the role that music has played in these major events? Whether it's the All Star Weekend in Marvin Gaye or whatever. How have you viewed this over time?
Well, I think there's always been a little bit of politics behind it. I think there's always been a little bit of sending a message behind it. Like you talk about Marvin Gaye and the way he sings the national anthem, where the way he sung the national anthem, and what spin and what take he put on it, and the rationale behind it. I mean, that's the thing we got to remember. People don't do this stuff in a vacuum.
No.
There's rationalization and some ideology behind why they do it and how they're doing it. Even with Bad Bunny, I mean, think about it. Of all the people to pick at this point in time to do the halftime show, you pick Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Okay. Knowing there's going to be some pushback and some response to it, and so I think there's always been a modicum of some type of message to be sent. And in some cases, like with a Marvin Gaye and like with a Whitney Houston, I think it tried to lean more toward the positive and the recognition of other individuals in the country. I think it was more of a positive opportunity than it was a negative message or sending a message to people, as I think it's gotten to be over time. Again, I'm not mad at the message for sure, either way, but I think that's what's kind of happened, and that's what's evoked it. And of course, it's going to draw out. I saw that today too, and all I could do is shake my head and go, "Really? Okay, it's a halftime show, and so now we're going to politicize that and turn that into some kind of war." So, I think it's been purposeful and rightfully so in its time. But I just hope that it doesn't get out of hand. I just hope that people treat it for what it is and move on from it and watch the football game. So I don't watch a halftime show. I go get refreshments or whatever. I don't watch any of them.
Unless it's Beyonce, unless it's if it's Michael Jackson, I might get it. Yeah, some of them I'm like you said, I'm over there trying to get me some more dip in trying to figure out and listening to the background. Darnell, you the youngin on the show. Like when you look at this stuff, what does it mean? How do y'all look at it from your perspective? You're as a younger generation, shaping a lot of this.
Well, music is always that political. So that's one thing about it. But as far as Bad Bunny, I know he's extremely popular.
Yeah.
But I can't name 3 of his songs. So I'm kind of with you guys. I'm kind of with you guys. Like if it's a Kendrick Lamar, if it's a Usher, if it's somebody like that, I'll stick around. But usually during halftime, I'm changing the channel.
Yeah. Yeah,
I watch halftime show I enjoy it. Yeah, I enjoy it. I look forward to it. Yeah, I mean Bruno Mars was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Timberlake was really good. Yeah, so I like it a lot. Lamar, I'm a big fan. That was nice last year. I'm like you. I don't really know bad. I looked at some stuff at Spotify, see because he's got a song with Drake. I think I've heard before, but yeah, I really don't know him. So I'm looking forward to it as far as I know the music, the beat's amazing. But but I don't know him, but I look forward to the performance. But again, like I said, the sideshow of the cultural clash we're having at halftime, I think it'll even add more to the game itself. The coach said
the only halftime show I remember growing up, but I remember Mrs. Berman, who we used to go always watch the bowl games over her house, who was responsible for me going to college. The Orange Bowl. She would always come down halftime for the Orange Bowl thing because the Orange Bowl always had something. It was because it's in Miami, and she would come down for the Orange Bowl halftime show because they always had something for some reason. I remember her doing it. Other than that, I never even paid attention, even when the Super Bowl was back there. Probably the first time was when Michael Jackson was there. Maybe Janet. You had to run there. Beyonce, like there's been a couple, and obviously when Dre was doing it, that was something just because of my
Yeah, I
interest
was
in
a big
hip hop and stuff
yeah.
like that. So yeah, it's usually
Mm-hmm.
every couple of years they'll
Mm-hmm.
hit something that I'll say, okay, I got to sit down and watch this stuff. But the fact that it is another way in which our country is, this is becoming, everybody's cool with the flyover, but then we start getting into the stuff at the halftime, it becomes something different. So that's part of sports and culture. We'll let it flip, but man, when Bad Bunny, like, that's just good marketing. If y'all gonna talk about me the briefing, that means I just sold another million copies of my song. Like it's just like for this stuff to get to where
Oh,
it is,
That's
it's
why
just
that's why I don't pay him. That's why I
yeah,
don't pay him. That's why I
he
don't
don't
pay
really
him.
care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it's crazy. Well,
yeah.
we'll spend enough time with that. We'll see
Taylor
how it
Swift turned
goes.
it down, my saying. Taylor Swift turned it down.
We say?
Okay.
What'd you
Taylor
say?
Swift turned it down. I know it, don't you?
Who turned it down?
Taylor Smith.
Oh,
Taylor
Charlie
Swift
Swift.
turned it
Yeah, she
down.
wasn't getting into that.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she wasn't getting that. She hoping her fiance was in the game so she could watch it. She's not smart enough. She's too smart of a business person to be getting caught up in that. She make enough money elsewhere. I wouldn't do it. I'm not gonna touch it. Mm-mm. She maybe in a couple years she'll get there, but I wouldn't touch it. All right, we'll get on. We gonna give out some. We're gonna give out a little bit of love up here. Drop the mic a little bit. Folks want to get whoever wants to go, who feels inspired. This is an opportunity in a world that is mad about Bad Bunny. We want to just give you some flowers. We'll let y'all know. We want to be like we want to be like Aaron Rodgers. Relax, y'all. Relax. We want to give out some love in there. Who's got something to give out that you want to share?
Oh, I'll go.
Okay.
So in the world of boxing, we have a fighter named Clarissa Sills that calls himself the GOAT. In basketball, I'm saying right now, we have a new lady that is the GOAT.
Woo! I knew you gonna do it.
Well,
I'll let you go,
of
man.
basketball, it's tough because I'm always hold on to Maya Moore. I'm always hold on to Candace Parker, but Asia Wilson she is stamping her claim in history as one of, if not the greatest women basketball player ever.
Mm-hmm.
What she's doing right now is phenomenal. Now I got to take my hat off, give my flowers out to Asia Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, man. That's a good one, man. That's a good one on there. Who's got some flowers? Who got something else to give on out?
I'll give my flowers to Liam Cohen, man. Really, I love the way he turned that team around. Jaguars, especially, kind of his beginning wasn't really the best as far as press conference. Well, it's kind of the recruitment process, but no, he's really turning around. Trevor's not even playing that great, and he played better Monday night. But the bottom line is that it's a team that's really come out of nowhere, and he's changed culture around in 4 or 5 games, and so really, I like what he's doing, and how he's doing Jacksonville and really turning the franchise around. That has some problems with Urban Meyer and other things, and Peterson and other problems in his franchise. Yeah, so.
All right, Mr. Youngblood.
Well, I'm going to end it like I started it, kind of
Mm-hmm.
a personal note. I give my flowers to my daughter Jennifer.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm
She,
talking about.
she, I'm proud of her. I'm proud of what she's accomplished. I'm proud of what she represents. And I think Bettendorf made the smartest decision they've ever made in the last 10 years with their coach. I think she's going to turn the program around, and she's going to do it in a way that's respectful, that's excellence. And so I give her over the credit and looking forward to her season.
And I just want to do this because we the little engine that could. We trying to get this thing up and running, and we've had a lot of help along the way. But I want to get the flowers out to our friends and organizers over here at the Maui Invitational because they're going to have us back one more time again. And people got to know how difficult it is to get in those spaces to kind of do that, especially when you're like a little engine and we're just trying to get up and going. In there with the folks who are big, and there are times when we have to come back and reassert ourselves to make sure we can get in the door. But this time around, it was just done as smooth as it's ever done, and it's we've laid the tracks on it, but I think they've recognized the value that we've had in that place. If you ever been to those kind of tournaments, a lot of the big folks are gone towards those last games, and we're still there working. Cecil knows that, doing our thing, and we thank them for continuing to support us,
Darnell.
to be there. It's a great experience. It's a great way for us to get to know and connect a lot of folks in a small space. So, folks at Kemper who organize these tournaments, we just appreciate the support, and I want to give out the flowers for leaving the space at least for the little guys to be part of these spaces, and we appreciate and don't take it for granted to be able to be in the space.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right, y'all. Well, thank you all for being with us, and please continue to root for your favorite team. Don't be like Hammer and get mad at them. Sometimes we got to calm them down in that text box. That boy gonna lose. He gonna have.
I root for him. Don't go. I root for him, but I'm mad at him too. They have to be accountable. You don't be a fan to have your team not be accountable.
Put that
They
foot
better
in
be accountable. That's all.
They bottom. They put that foot in
their
their
bottom. They
bottom.
better be accountable. That's all.
I feel you, brother.
They better not take our fandom for granted. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
when you take it for granted, that's when they take advantage of you.
All right. We with you. We with you. Well, that's it. Thank you for being with One Mic. Like we said, it's where the culture meets the game. Until next time, we'll see you on the other side. Be well.
Hard working, dedicated. Would like to dedicate this to those who never hate it. Can't nothing hold us down. Can always go another round. Welcome to the underground. Real sports with real sports guys. It's a flex that had his mindset, ready for whatever grind next. My mindset, working with the time left. Hard working, dedicated. Would like to dedicate this to those who never hate it. Can't nothing hold us down. Can always go another round. Welcome to the underground. Real sports with real sports guys.